All right, so it's the start of day 14. It started raining, thundering, storming about 3 a.m. It's supposed to stop around 10 a.m. So where you see me is where I'm going to stay until 10 a.m. So, yeehaw. The wacky tree at Bly Gap. Very cool. Very cool. All right. All right. Whew. For those of you that are watching this that are going to be getting on the AT this year, put this one in your cap. Bly Gap camping area. When you come out of that, be ready for the first climb, because that first climb is a butt kicker. It's going to wake your butt up in the morning and say, hello, are you sure you want to do this? Well, my answer is, hell yes, I want to do this. But that's because I'm at the top of that first climb. Whoo, baby. That was a humdinger. For those of you who have ever gone up a ladder into your attic, that's how steep it was for about a half a mile. Just saying. And looking at my map, I've got 2 more of those before I get to the next shelter, which we're not stopping at. We're going to keep going. Our plan today is to do 7.9 miles, and we're going to get to Standing Indian Shelter. So that's the plan. It rained like a son of a gun last night. Probably started about 3 a.m. and rained hard. I mean hard. Thunder, lightning, the whole kit and caboodle. Until probably about 8 o'clock this morning, 8:30. It ended early, which is good because I could get out of my tent and get it dried out as best I can before I hit the trail. And even though I have a kind of a little camp towel that I can dry things off with, the rain came under my tent into the mesh and got my sleeping quilt a little wet on the outside. I didn't notice any moisture that got through, so whatever fabric Enlightened Equipment uses on their sleeping bags, or camping quilts and puffies and whatever else they make, it seems to be at least somewhat water resistant. I don't know that waterproof is the right word, but water resistant. I'm not sure, to be honest, but I know that one side of my quilt was certainly wet, and I used my camp towel to dry it off before I stuffed it into my bag. But the weather is supposed to be good today, so at some point, if I get ahead enough, or when I get to the next shelter that we're going to camp at, I need to get that camping quilt out and get it dried out completely. The other thing is my tent. It's waterproof, but just the way it's designed, with a whipping wind, which we had, and a driving rain, which we had, it will come underneath the flaps on the tent, where the 2 doorways are, and the water will come through the mesh to some degree. I got all that cleaned out on the inside. The problem with the tent is that I do not have a ground cover for it. It's not designed to be used with a ground cover. You can use one, but that's just more weight. I'm not carrying more weight. So the water that's still on my tent is mainly on the bottom, along with some leaves and some sticks and some other debris from the ground. I got it wiped off and dried off as best I could this morning, but I can tell you that my pack yesterday was 38 pounds. I'd be willing to bet today that's probably 39 pounds with the extra water weight that I'm carrying. So I was so hungry last night, I did eat a double supper. And it was good. It was real good. What was it? Some kind of shepherd's pie, potatoes with beef. Dude, that was awesome. It was a great meal. I can't wait to get another one of those. But anyways, we're on a fairly level spot now, in between the last big climb and the next big climb. The next big climb is supposed to be another 500 feet up, something in that area. I don't know how steep it's going to be. I guess we're going to find out when we get there. You know, here's the thing. Obviously, my long-term goal on this trail is to get to Mount Katahdin. I'm going to get there. Come hell or high water, I'm going to get there. But when you're out here on the trail, you set daily goals. You use your Far Out app and you kind of map out where you're going to go for the day, where you're going to stop for the night. Mark all the water sources along the trail, and that's all built into the app Far Out. So you can do all that, and it'll help you keep track every time you pull out your phone and pull up that app. That app will run when you're in airplane mode. So that's a great thing about that app. There's so little reception or service out here that you have to run your phone on airplane mode. If not, your battery will be drained in half a day. And you can only carry so much battery backup. So anyways, so you map out your daily goals on Far Out, and at the same time you're looking for a plan B and sometimes a plan C depending on the weather. You have to have an idea of other camping areas, but anyways, the point I was getting to is that when you're hitting these big hills, they're not hills, they're mountains. I got to quit saying hills. But when you hit these suckers and they're going straight up, and you're taking, on that last one, 5 to 10 steps before you have to stop and take a 2 or 3 second breather, a couple deep breaths, get that oxygen back in the bloodstream, and then move on again. But I mean, every 5, 10, 15, 20 steps, you're stopping. And so how I do it when I'm on those big hills and it's just burning my leg muscles, burning my lungs, is my goal is to get where I can see. That's it. It may be 50 feet up the trail, it may be 100 yards up the trail, but that's my goal. When I get to that point, I look up, I pick my next spot, and I go to that next spot. And it's just constant all throughout the day. And I'm sure other people have other methods that they use. That's mine. It's working. So I'll keep doing it. Anyways, enough of me yapping for a minute. God, that was a 7-minute video. That's too long. I'm going to shut it off for now, and I'll get you back on the trail here in a bit. All right, so I've just gotten to the second hill. The camera's at level right now, and where we're going is, holy shit, way the hell up there. I looked at that hill and I just said, oh shit. All right, here we go. Let's get it done. All right. I'm right at the end of that third big uphill for the morning. Those 3 uphills were not fun. They were not fun, but they were challenging. So, yeah, I'm here. Look at this view. Yeah, this view is the reward for those hills. I wish I knew what lake that was way over there. I don't know if you guys can see it. Let me see if I can zoom out a little bit. Yeah, don't know, but it's all beautiful. I'm loving it. I'm probably about 2/10 of a mile from a shelter. I think it's called Muskrat Shelter, something like that. But I'm going to stop there and have my lunch. And we'll see you when we get down there. All right, I just finished having lunch. Stopped at Oh shoot, I can't remember the name of the shelter now. But anyways, 3 miles after Bly Gap, there's a shelter. I stopped there, had lunch with some other hikers, and looks like they're all planning to go to the same shelter I'm going to tonight, so I'll get to spend some more time and hang out with them there. Seem like pretty cool people. I love meeting new people out here. It's so different. It's so different. I've mentioned it many times before, that the people I meet when I'm off doing my little adventures are like-minded people. And even though I'm very much an introvert, I come out of my shell when I'm with people like this. And it's fun. I enjoy it. But whew. All right, we got those 3 big hills out of the way. Yeehaw. And now we're gonna have some gentle ups and downs. Where have I heard that before? Yeah, some gentle ups and downs. Hopefully there's no surprises gonna get thrown at me. I've looked at the map and it shouldn't be too horribly bad. But I do know that after we stop at Standing Indian Shelter tonight, Standing Indian Mountain tomorrow, goes up to the highest elevation that we've been so far. I believe it's over 5,000 feet. And okay, just one more challenge. Is this not beautiful or what? Look at this. Look at this. Oh my God. You just, I don't know. How do you even describe something like this? It's just beautiful. Just beautiful. All right. Okay. I'm getting into some really muddy stuff here, so I'm going to stop filming in the interest of safety. I don't know if you can see it, but it's some of that black mud slush that I love so much. All right. I'll be back in a bit. All right, so about 4.1 miles into the trail, and I come upon this split in the trail and another Blue Blaze trail called Chunky Gal Trail. Don't know who named it. Kind of a funny name, but well, it is what it is. Somebody's naming them. Have some fun with it. Got about another, oh goodness, less than 4 miles to go, so we're in good shape, making good time. Haven't seen anything of Bluebird or Mowait, so I assume that they're behind me. Be back in a bit. All right, I'm about 6 miles in for the day. Came into this slight opening. Man, as far as the eye can see, beautiful mountains. Beautiful mountains. Just came up my 4th big uphill of the day, and I think I've got about maybe 2 miles to get to the shelter. My legs are tired. It's been a hard day. Yeah, I've talked to a couple of people on the trail today, and one of them mentioned to me that she had no idea that this trail was as difficult as it was being to her. And this comes as no surprise to me. I knew this trail was going to be tough. The only part I really underestimated was, oh boy, hang on a second, folks, in some of that black slush. I don't have my trekking pole, so I got to be extra careful here. I already see where some people have slipped and slid their way down this thing. All right, got a little opening, but listen, folks, make no mistake, this is not easy. This is not easy. If you don't have the physical strength to do this, you're not going to make it. If you don't have the mental strength to do this, you're not going to make it. These hills, I call them hills, they're not hills. They're friggin' mountains. And they will eat your ass for lunch if you don't know what you're getting into and you don't treat it with the respect that it deserves. Yeah, baby. Let's get into some slick stuff. It's like the minute I pick up my camera, the trail gets ugly. I mean, you can see now I'm walking through probably ankle-deep mud. Even though it rained like crazy early this morning, I've been able to keep my shoes relatively dry, except for a couple of spots. Well, that just took care of that one. It is what it is. The good thing is it's a bright, sunshiny day, and even if my socks and shoes get wet, these shoes are designed to dry quickly, and they do. I don't know if I've ever mentioned it, but the shoes that I'm wearing are Ultra Lone Peak 6 trail runners, and I love them. I've worn this pair pretty much throughout the winter, and it took me a while to find the right insole for them. And oh, I got a southbounder coming at me, so I'll have to put this down here in just a second. Okay, back what I was talking about. I think a lot of people that had planned to come out and do this year have realized that for many of them, it is nothing more than a pipe dream. I think most of the people that come out here and start this trail are not in any kind of condition to walk this trail, to hike this trail. When I registered right in the middle of the bubble, and the bubble is where just the massive influx of people on this trail. 40 to 60 people a day registered to go out. Well, I got to tell you, man, I haven't seen 40 to 60 people a day out here. Honestly, I'm lucky to have seen 15 to 20 people most days. I think a lot of people registered wishful thinking that they were going to do this and bowed out at some point. I think a lot of people started this trail and got into a couple of days of really cold weather or really rainy weather, or hit a mountain that just kicked the living crap out of them, like it does to everybody. But I've already heard stories of people becoming injured, people becoming disillusioned and quitting. And I'll give people credit for coming out here, but I mean, come on, people, do some research, take a look at this. This is not a walk in the woods. This is an extreme hiking trail that most experts would probably say I shouldn't be out here. But I am not your typical 63-year-old man. I think I've proved that time and time and time again to the people who know me well. I don't quit. And the harder it gets, the bigger the challenge it becomes, and the more I'm going to like it. I gave myself that first 2 weeks to come out here and adapt and adjust, and I've done that. And on that note, I'm going to put this camera away because I'm seeing some really ugly stuff on this downhill. I'll talk to you in a little bit. Okay. Got less than a half a mile to get to the shelter for the night. Probably a half a mile ago, at the bottom of a extremely difficult downhill. Don't ask me what mountain. They all blend together. But got to the bottom, saw a bunch of hikers hanging out, and sure enough, we got trail magic. Woohoo! There's a gentleman that has been setting up his stuff here for 21 years, I think now. He thru-hiked the AT back in the early 2000s, and he's been providing trail magic for hikers one weekend out of the year. at Deep Cut Gap in North Carolina. And they had it all. They had it all. Barbecue, hot dogs, hamburgers, chips, beer, soda, water, homemade cookies, banana, I mean fruit, you name it, they had it. It was pretty awesome. People like that. And they do it. It's for free. They don't charge hikers anything. I did ask if they accepted donations. The gentleman said thanks, but no. He wanted to do it on his own. And over the years, he's got his son, his grandson, and many other family members and friends involved. I don't know, there were probably 30 people down there. It was pretty awesome. You gotta love people who do that kind of stuff. For strangers. For strangers. Not where I'm from. Nope. Where I'm from, strangers coming through town looking like with the way we look are more likely to be arrested than helped. So, just my opinion. All right, I'm going uphill. I gotta use my trekking poles. It's kind of kicking my butt here. So, I'll talk to you again when I get to the shelter.